Hey guys, it's me, the 90s Doggo. And we're doing another podcast because, as you already know, the bad news that happened recently, the passing away of Akira Toriyama, the great master of anime. So we wanted to do a tribute in this podcast. We are going to talk about one of the Dragon Ball movies and what he means to us. Here I have my friend and brother, the voice of Rat.
Hi there, you can call me Alex, and I am the voice of Rat, the radical frog. But sadly, this time Rat is not with us, and we will talk about Dragon Ball in general.
Yeah. So first, the movie that we're going to talk about is Dragon Ball: The Path to Power. This one is
Our favorite movie.
See, it's like a retelling of a big part of the first part of Dragon Ball.
And the Red Ribbon Saga. One of my favorites arcs of all Dragon Ball. Not only classic Dragon Ball, of all Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Well, this movie, has a unique style that is similar to GT. In fact, the same studio that animated Dragon Ball GT animated this movie. And that's great for me.
Yeah, the movie looks great. It's rare to see Dragon Ball, not Zeta, and not C, animated with this level of budget and this really good animation. I mean, sometimes the anime got a little bit like that, but most of the time it wasn't.
Yes, and this movie was to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Dragon Ball in general. So this movie is, like the Pilaf arc, and Goku meets Bulma, and they need to recollect the Dragon Balls.
Yes, but this time Pilaf is not here because the Red Ribbon Army is the main bad guy.
Yes, because he's a much more threatening foe than, Pilaf. I love Pilaf, but he's like Team Rocket of Dragon Ball.
Yeah, he is kinda stupid. And the real villain, almost at the end of that saga, was Goku in the ape form.
Yes, that's true. And so I think was the correct call to make the Red Ribbon Army the bad guys.
Yeah, and in this movie they have a lot more resources because in this movie also they made Goku a lot more powerful than in that saga because they wanted more spectacle.
Yes, for example, I think if you know of Dragon Ball about power levels, Goku in here is about the same when he was facing Ten Shin Han. And that's a lot of power.
Yeah, and they have to, skip a lot of stuff like Goku in the anime original and in the manga, he can't do a perfect Kamehameha just after watching Roshi do it. His Kamehameha is very weak compared to Roshi. But in here, he does one that's just as powerful.
Yes, almost as powerful, and I like this movie a lot. Not only the animation, the characters, all the same that you love, and I know that this movie is based in the classics, but I think Krillin should be there too. The only criticism that I have for this movie is the old body of Goku.
Yeah, I know that Yamcha was first in the series, but I think that Krillin overall is most important to the franchise. So maybe he should have been there in vez of Yamcha?
The two, I think. The two are just as important of Dragon Ball, at least for me. It's true that now Yamcha is like a clone and memes and all that, but Yamcha in Dragon Ball was a good fighter
Yeah. Mm. But later Krillin kinda replaced him as the rival of Goku.
Yes, but mm, this movie has all the things that I like about Dragon Ball. Friendship, fights, humor,
Yeah.
even raunchy humor
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah, the movie is very funny. And yeah, the fights are very cool too because the animation is great and the choreography of the fights is also very good. And yeah, Goku is just as likable as I always see him when he's beating a bunch of soldiers.
Yes, and I don't know, but I always preferred Goku as a kid than an adult. I think because Goku is like so innocent and pure, como I think I associate him more with the kid version
Yeah.
of Goku.
Yeah, I like that they didn't change it. Some things like the start of the series, Bulma still shoots Goku when after she runs him over.
And she was a little slutty, Bulma, but it's part of her character.
Yeah, she has to learn to be a more, how would you say it?
Better person.
Yes, a better person, less narcissistic and
Greedy.
greedy.
Yes. And I like Oolong. Oolong, I know, is irrelevant in all Dragon Ball, but he's the perfect comic relief in this history. He's practically a Dr. Slump character.
Yeah, that's why he's so funny.
Yes, I love the when he transformed Henshin style in Voltron or Mazinger Z ripoff.
Yeah, that part is. It is in a lot of Dragon Ball adaptations.
Yes, it's probably his best gag.
Mhm.
With a miso soup and he will just eat Goku.
Sí.
Yeah, that's the movie. Now, one thing about this movie is that the android number 8, or like we call in Latin America Octavio, finally fights, not only with Goku but with the main bad guy.
Yeah, we never saw him fight because he didn't want to.
He was a pacifist. Well, in this movie is too, but sometimes you have to fight. That's a nice message to kids.
Yeah, and but I don't think kids should watch this movie. There's a little too much violence and raunchy humor.
Yes, but I watched this movie and Dragon Ball when I was like 10 years old, I don't know,
Yeah.
and I love it.
Oh yeah, so good.
So, the main villains. Spoiler alert, there is no Tao Pai Pai in this movie.
Yeah, that will have taken too much time of the movie.
Yes, como Tao Pai Pai or like the Gringo Skull Mercenary Tao is too powerful enemy to Goku in this moment. So
No, it's not that. I mean, it's mostly like his saga will have taken too much time. They would have had to introduce more characters and
Master Karin,
yeah, and no, they don't have time for that because
Bora, the friend of Goku, Anupa.
yeah,
At least 20 minutes just for Tao Pai Pai.
yeah, and that would have been if you do it really rushed.
Like the third movie of Dragon Ball, that was good, but that movie didn't do justice to Tao Pai Pai. Like in the series. Because that was the first real evil and powerful villain. Not Frieza, not Boo, not even Raditz. What's Tao Pai Pai the first, I think.
Yeah. The first time that Goku needs to get stronger to beat an opponent.
And it's true that before Tao Pai Pai, there were other opponents that were even stronger than Goku, like Master Roshi in the first tournament. But the difference is that he didn't want to kill Goku. Tao Pai Pai, yes, it wanted to kill Goku. Well, but enough of Tao Pai Pai. It's time to return to the movie.
Yeah, this movie, all the generals of the Red Ribbon Army make an apparition, but all of them get killed very quickly because we have to keep things moving.
In an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's a very short movie.
Yes.
I mean, longer than usual Dragon Ball Z movie, but those are just fights, and there's no much plot.
Yes, just a cool fight, blah
Yeah,
blah blah.
the villain appears immediately, and they have to fight him. So yeah, 1 hour for that is more than enough. But a movie like this one, yeah, needs a little more time.
See, a bigger plot.
Yeah, and the
this
villain,
movie, very great.
yeah, and this movie, the main bad guy is General Red.
Yeah, Red? Isn't Commander Black again?
No, but the real bad guy, he takes over. Black.
That.
Yeah, Black takes over later, but for most of the movie is Red the bad guy.
Yes, like in the classic anime and manga.
Yeah.
I like General Red as a villain, Commander Red. He reminds me a little of a James Bond villain.
Yeah, but kinda like a parody of one.
Yes, but the real bad guy here is Commander Black, and he is more evil than the canon counterpart.
Yeah, he's really bad in this one.
Yes, and he looks like Nappa for some reason. But I like his redressing. He looks, I don't know, more devilish, you could say.
Yeah. And Commander Red in this one, he's just as funny because he still wants to get the Dragon Ball just to become taller. And they even make a little reference of that before before he reveals it, because he constantly gets angry when Black gets next to him. And he's very tall.
Yes, and so the movie, first Goku meets Bulma, then Oolong fight Yamcha and meet Master Roshi. But we can't forget, I know this part is only about 15-10 minutes, but it's great. The Muscle Towers part of the
Yeah, it's really entertaining.
Yeah, fighting así, Octavio and Goku destroying all those robots.
Yeah, but he does it very easily, much more than in the anime.
In the anime was like about 7 episodes to finish the Muscle Tower. Here, Goku in 10 minutes, fa fa fa!
Yeah. Because like we said, he is far more stronger in this version than when he was in that part of the anime.
Yes, and I like it. It's good for this movie. I know this movie is not canon and that it also many haters don't like this movie, but I repeat, this movie is my favorite and I think it captures the magic and essence of Dragon Ball in its purest form.
Yeah.
And now,
if I was going to nitpick a bit, I would say that maybe I would have given chapters like Yamcha a few more points to fight a little bit, because he only fights one time with Goku and doesn't do much for the rest of the movie. And mostly humor.
Yeah, it's because Yamcha is a little shy about with a woman and he becomes scared of Lokina whenever Bulma is there.
Yeah.
And that's his character trait. But I like it.
Yeah.
And it's true to the Yamcha in the first saga.
Yeah, I think that. Well, I can see why Master Roshi is not fighting much. He's supposed to be out and can't fight that much after doing a Kamehameha. That drains a lot of his energy.
Yes. And Master Roshi, yes, he don't fight too much, but that's because he was captured and, well, I think for this movie we need to talk about the final battle too. Because
yeah.
it's one of the best fights in a movie. It's not a 50 minutes battle like the Android 13 or the original Broly movie, huh?
Yeah.
But it's great.
Yeah. Just like in the anime, Black, after killing Red, because he knows that they weren't as he collecting the Dragon Balls to conquer the world just for make himself taller, and that of course pisses him off and kills him. And then he gets into a robot, but this is the different part. This robot is gigantic and far more powerful than the one in the anime.
Yes, the battle jacket robot is huge in this movie and much more powerful than in the original.
Yeah, you said that.
Yes, I know you said that, but I want to say that too!
Yeah, but and of course he has to be a bigger challenge for Goku. The entire movie can't be just Goku beating soldiers easily. There has to be a point where
a climax.
Yeah, just like in all forms of media of Dragon Ball, there's always an opponent that is at a similar level to Goku, or that challenges him in another way. But in this time, yeah, it's someone that's it's at a similar level. And because this robot, unlike shooting a missile and things like that, this one creates a giant laser that makes a nuke-like explosion.
Yes, and this robot in one part of the movie could stomp Goku very bad.
Yeah, it can.
And tank Kamehameha.
Oh yeah, and in this movie, like we said, they showed that the Kamehameha is far more powerful than when the first time Goku did it. Like it can destroy several warships in just one shot.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean it's like as powerful as the atomic breath of Godzilla -1.
Yes, and when Black has Goku in the ropes and he will finish him off with his giant blaster, you know, here comes Octavio to save Goku.
Oh yeah, but sadly Goku in this moment is passed out because he got a bunch of missiles to his face.
Yes, and the fight is very good in this part, and
yeah, Octavio does his best, but he can beat Black.
Yes, the other is too big and powerful, and he literally crushed him in this part. And this has, you know, some deja vu to Gohan and the Cell battle when he killed Android 16.
Yeah, the other good android.
The other good android, and Goku just becomes insane, pissed off.
Yeah, of course he gets angry, and it almost looks like he almost turned into a Super Saiyan.
Yes, that was great.
Yeah, and he then shoots a far stronger Kamehameha with his anger and destroys the robot.
Yes, and that's, you know, kill Black. I like that. out of Goku. Many say Goku is like a Superman. Goku don't kill anything. Actually, Goku in the manga anime has killed a bunch of people.
Oh yeah, all those sea soldiers in those airplanes, he destroys them and they don't come out.
Yes.
Yeah, there's not parachutes, they dive.
Piccolo, Daimaku, and I know I am Chilean and many people of the USA call Piccolo King, but in Latin America was Piccolo Daimaku.
Yeah, another great villain of
Same,
the
and
series.
in Japan was Piccolo Daimao,
Yeah.
but yeah, Goku kills many villains before, so that argument is not true.
Yeah, he's not as goody as other people say. He's more naive than just purely good.
But in this version, in contrast to the main counterpart of Commander Black, in this version I think Black did deserve to be dead.
Oh yeah, because like we said before, he is actually a lot more evil and a bad guy in here.
Yes.
Clearly.
So after that, they summon Shenlong and wish to revive Octavio, and that's the movie.
Oh yeah, and then the ending, that's the ending, and we see the credits, and it
With
plays.
the GT team también.
Oh yeah, very good.
Yes. And that's the movie. But we are not talking just about only the movie. We will talk about a little more about Dragon Ball in general.
Yeah, like the other Dragon Ball movies are really good too, but they are mostly like retellings of parts of the anime or like an alternative universe.
From the classic trio of Dragon Ball movies, I think the best is the second one with Lucifer and the Hand Castle,
Yeah, that one is really fun.
because it is more like an original story.
Yeah, it's like the most like will be an original story. And that could have been a saga in the original Dragon Ball.
Yes, could be a good saga in the original Dragon Ball. Now, talking about classic Dragon Ball, I have to confess something. I like Dragon Ball more than C and GT.
Yeah,
My favorite is the classic Dragon Ball.
yeah, same for me. I know that many people grew up with Dragon Ball Z first, so that's the one that they remember the most, but I was Dragon Ball first, then Z.
Yeah,
And I always liked more the adventure aspects than just fights all the time
and
with superpowers.
friendship too.
I mean, it's not like fights and superpowers was not a thing in Dragon Ball, there was a lot of that too.
Yeah, when they introduced Tenshinhan and all that.
Yeah, the first one was like Tao Pai Pai, the first, like you mentioned it.
Yes, but Dragon Ball was more of an adventure, not to use, we have Frieza, Cell, and Majin
Yeah,
Buu.
and in that kind of format, it was easier to give more importance to characters that were not all fighters, like Bulma, Wulong.
Lunch.
Yeah,
Sadly, Lunch is totally forgotten. And
by
even-
by her own creator.
Yes, Akira Toriyama said in the past that he forgot about her.
Yeah,
And that's always irks me because she was an important character in the classic.
yeah. I
Dragon
mean,
Ball.
how would you feel if someone, suddenly the creator of the own anime and manga will forget about a character as important as, well, maybe not as important as Bulma, but maybe Oolong or Yamcha.
I know if she...
I mean, guys, this is not the same as Yamcha, because Yamcha, even though his role was reduced in sea and others, he still appeared. Lunch, Akira Toriyama completely forgot about her, that she exists, that she stopped appearing because of that. She only appeared in the Majin Buu saga, giving energy to Goku because some animators remember her.
I thank to that animator.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she was practically replaced with Chi-Chi as the female comic relief.
Yeah.
I know if Lunch was in C, she would be, like Puar and Ulon in the Kame House and her gag of a split personality, but I would prefer that total oblivion.
Yeah, she completely disappeared, like she never existed.
Yes, and well, that's a little we can tell. So, my favorite saga of Dragon Ball, is the Red Ribbon Army, but not only that, I really love the Pilaf saga. I know it's like only 13 episodes, but reminds me the humors, the gags, a lot to Akira Toriyama previous work, Dr. Slump.
Yeah, that's also really good as well.
Yes, it was.
I
know.
mean, it's like purely humor, like anime and manga, like Shin-Chan and all of those.
Yes, I know it's a silly gag anime, but it's a really good silly gag anime.
Yeah.
And Arale is cute, so she is a good protagonist.
Yeah, and she also was more powerful than Goku when they first met.
Yes.
Yeah, the crossover of the Dr. Slump.
Village.
See, Dr. Slump with Dragon Ball. That was very fun too.
Yes, but I have to tell you something. My friends, because we live in Mexico when Dragon Ball first appeared, and they hated that crossover because they say that was too much silly and all that, edgy 90s kid. And now Goku can be beaten by a little nerd-looking girl that is a robot, but that's stupid. Huh?
Yeah, who cares? Goku becomes stronger than her later anyways.
Later. Yeah, that's a problem. Many childs of my era want Dragon Ball to be all serious and edgy and hated a little the gag parts.
Yeah, that's why those people like the Majin Buu saga the least, because it's the most like crazy and silly out of
And the
those.
favorite was for them, my friends in that era, was the Cell saga because it was the darkest of the three main sagas.
Yeah.
And I like the Cell arc. It's very good, but I prefer the Majin Buu arc.
Yeah, it's more fun. And I think that the silly, crazy part of Dragon Ball is really important to the franchise.
Yes, it's
I
part
mean,
of the end.
it's part of the origins of Akira Toriyama making silly gag anime.
Yeah, and many of the most powerful sea warriors like Gogeta and Vegito or Gotenks are just a goofball.
Yeah.
And that reflects the power of the humor in this series.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot.
And also, well, yeah, that's why also they don't like the beginning of Dragon Ball GT, because it's a journey to recover the Dragon Balls to the universe. And just like the original Dragon Ball, there's not like fights all the time, and it's more like an adventure.
Yes, GT in the first 15 episodes is more lighter, but I like that change of pace.
Yeah, and because more like Dragon Ball Z later anyways.
Yes, with Baby and the Shadow Dragons, but I like the camaraderie of Goku, Trunks, and Pan. So, Sumi, but I prefer and I consider more canon GT than Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah, I mean, with how much retcons there are in Super and things like that, how you can say it is more canon just because Toei says so.
I know that in Super, Akira Toriyama has a much bigger involvement than in GT, but I think that I prefer GT, but don't get me wrong, I don't like too much Super, but I don't want just because Akira Toriyama is dead, then poof, Super didn't exist and fuck the fans of Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah.
I think they deserve to have their own ending like we got with Dragon Ball GT, the best ending ever.
Yeah, and I think that, yeah, like Super had more involvement Akira Toriyama, but that I don't think that automatically makes it better. Like, I know that, I know that he's dead and we shouldn't say bad things about it, but I think he wasn't as passionate for Super like he was for Z or Dragon Ball Original. I think he was far more passionate to other projects like he did with Blue Dragon.
Yes, Blue Dragon, I know the game is not too good, but the anime of Blue Dragon was great. And I think it was his last great work.
Oh yeah, I loved that anime.
And in the anime, he even contributes some of the plot, not only the character designs, but so I think.
Yeah, I think that that's the last, like, very good and great work associated with Akira Toriyama. It's just as good as the others.
Yes, I think that I would like to Blue Dragon to return and now have a good video game.
Yeah, that is based on the anime.
Yes, on the anime. Not. So that's what.
Yeah, I recommended that a lot. You should watch if you want to.
It's only 100 episodes.
Yeah, if you want to watch something to honor Akira Toriyama that's not necessarily Dr. Slump or Dragon Ball or Z or any of that, because you want to see something new from him.
And shorter.
Yeah, watch Blue Dragon. That's really good, and it has an RPG feeling like Chrono Trigger.
Yes.
And
well, did you know that the creator of Final Fantasy, Hiboru Yamaguchi, was the main designer of the Blue Dragon game?
yeah.
So, but yeah, Blue Dragon, I like it. Blue Dragon. And the villain looks like Piccolo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Money, that's always that I like Toriyama. Many characters have silly names like Derp. What's the name of the main bad guy of Blue Dragon? I don't know. Nene?
Nene.
Bingo! Nene.
Nene.
Yes, Nene.
That means like a small child in Spanish.
Yes. Nene.
Sí.
And I know that Toriyama in his later years, he still have that tradition. For example, I don't like much Dragon Ball Super, but I like that one of the antagonists of the newest arc, his name is Granola. Granola, like Quacker! And I like it.
Yeah, name after food.
Food.
Like Broly, Vegeta, Kakarot.
Yes, como silly names is part of the charm of Dragon Ball. And Akira Toriyama in general.
Sí, Garlic Jr. And in Blue Dragon there was also Shu and Bouket, names like that.
Yes. Speaking of Blue Dragon, I think Blue Dragon captures the magic of the original Dragon Ball. You know, there is not uh, big power scaling.
I mean, there is sometimes,
There
but,
is sometimes.
but it's just like Piccolo Daimaku, yeah, you know, something that is the final villain, not something that appears all the time in every
And
episode.
Planet Booster villain, no, there is none of that.
Yeah, it's pretty low levels compared to see even the later Dragon Ball, not even C.
Yes, and one of the villains was General Rogi, that looks like a mix of Vegeta and Magus of Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, he was very cool.
And he isn't in the game! And all his elite troops that are the rivals of the main party members don't exist in the
Well,
game.
that's what happens when you make the game before the anime comes out, and the anime puts a lot of things that the game,
And more effort.
yeah, and that the game doesn't put.
Yes, that's the problem. Blue Dragon is a good franchise, but the the game, not so much.
Yeah, the game that was supposed to be the reason why the franchise started in the first place.
Yes, an Xbox first party exclusive, but I like Blue Dragon, the anime, and the second season too
Yeah,
of
but
the anime.
yeah, Blue Dragon had a lot of great characters and adventures and fun with a perfect character que era, how it was called, Maro?
Maro that look like a mix of a cat and Majin Buu, Fat Buu, you know.
Yeah, he was very funny.
Yes, and the main rival of Shu, the main protagonist, was like a Kid Trunks, Luke.
Yeah.
I don't like one thing of the Toriyama haters. They say all its character looks the same.
Not really. There's okay. Sometimes a character can look similar, like you mentioned it, that kid from Blue Dragon looks a little similar to Trunks, but it's not that similar.
Just the arts, the hair.
Yeah, in personality is very different, and in clothing and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, you
I
know-
mean, the thing is that sometimes a lot of characters look similar, but they are family. Like a lot of people say that Gohan looks too similar to Goku, but they are supposed to be related.
Yes. I know, I love the Toriyama characters, but I don't like, for example, that Goten, when he was a kid, look almost identical to Kid Goku. That was a little confusing.
Yeah. Yeah, but because at least Gohan looked a little different. You could tell them apart very easily, but Goten was like very similar.
Yes, very similar to Kid Goku, but there is only one Kid Goku, you know? So I prefer the look of Goten as a teenager boy in GT, when he was a slacker and don't want to fight and just impress a cute girl.
Yeah.
I think that has more depth for the character. Now, speaking of the art style of Akira Toriyama, is like a classic.
Oh yeah, it's very classic. I mean, the thing with Akira Toriyama is that he doesn't like to make very different types of eyes, but the faces a lot of time are very different. Like you will never mix like Vegeta with Nappa. They are very different, and because even though they have similar type of eyes, the typical bad guy eyes of Dragon Ball, the face is completely different to the Vegeta and Nappa.
Yes, and some character has very unique looks, like Frieza. I always think that was funny than the main bad guy and a stronger Napoleon or villain of the universe was like an evil midget in a hover chair, but I like it, his design.
Yeah,
A lot.
He clearly has a lot of talent to create magical and aliens, magical creatures and aliens, and even superpowered gods. I mean, I am not a very big fan of Virus as a character. I think he's too silly and for being like this supposedly powerful compared to all that came before, but
His design is good.
yeah, it was totally made by Akira Toriyama and did a great job. I like that he is just like another pantheon of gods, like he looks more like an Egyptian god.
Yes, I like it. His design. One of the few things that I like of Super. His design, not his personality.
I wish the other characters from Super had at least a good design.
Yes, but well, that's a note about Dragon Ball Super. For me, I think if Dragon Ball Super, I want a continuation after GT or something. I think Dragon Ball Xenoverse, that video games had a better plot than Super. As a, no sé, multi or universe thing, multiverse thing.
That was interesting because you got to see different alternative realities and timelines to the different parts of the story, but the problem is that even though they had a lot of good ideas for Xenoverse 2, they kind of repeated a lot of the missions and the storylines, like, oh, instead of this time your avatar gets in the I guess his body changed with Captain Ginyu is now Vegeta, which is not as fun because originally it was Goku, but now this Vegeta instead. Like,
yes, the problem with Xenoverse 2 is that it came almost just a year after the first, so the only difference is they changed bad guy. First was Demigran, Auto, and Mira. That's the difference in the story. More than anything.
Yeah.
But I like Xenoverse and the new characters, like the Supreme Kai of Time. And you could say, well, she's just, a goofball, but almost all Goku teachers are funny characters. Master Roshi, Karin, Kamisama is the exception, but we have Mr. Popo, Kaio-sama with bubbles.
I mean, one problem that had Dragon Ball is that the current master of at the beginning was Master Roshi, and he was very powerful, and they have to create reasons why he wasn't always involved, because he could have easily defeated a lot of enemies that Goku couldn't beat. And later he can't because Goku becomes more powerful than him and also the enemies.
Yes.
That's why later three masters of Goku can teach him things, but they are not very powerful, and that's why they can't beat the bad guys for him. But that's a problem with Virus. He can and he doesn't because
he's one of the strongest beings in all Dragon Ball.
I mean, I will get involved sometimes, but not always, just when it's convenient or inconvenient for the plot.
Yes, I think that I love it about the Dragon Ball that all the main bad guys like Frieza, Cell, Majin Buu, Baby, Super Android 17 was like the strongest fighter in the universe. Huh?
Yeah, at least at the time where they knew about the universe, like, yeah, there was later far stronger guys than Piccolo Daimaku with Freezer and the Saiyans, but we didn't know that at the time. They appear later.
Yes, so that's
But now in Super, there are guys more powerful than the current bad guy that could beat him instantly, but I just don't want to.
Like, for example, in the movie Resurrection F, Frieza literally... He has a good idea to just blow up the planet to win, because they can break in outer space, but what happened? Whis has somehow powers to rewind time and nullifies his victory. That's just a little a Deus Ex Machina.
And not only that, Vegeta had defeated Freezer in that form, but then when they rewind time, then Goku beats him. Oh, it always has to be Goku. Vegeta can never get a win.
Yes, I know, but, well, enough of Super, but is that I don't like that there is some good guys or pseudo-neutral guys that are far stronger than the good guys and the bad guys. That just, I don't know, made less impact.
It makes that there is less tension in the current saga, because they can beat anything, and they later get something equivalent to the Dragon Balls, but more powerful. So now things that couldn't be done with the Dragon Balls, we can rearm an entire universe that was destroyed, and that was supposedly the only consequence to that. But
and that's why I wanna defend Dragon Ball GT. I love Dragon Ball GT.
Yeah.
For me, it's the real continuation of Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I really like it. I know it has
some problems.
Yeah, its own flaws, but
like it was a little rushed in some parts.
Yeah, some sagas could have been longer, but I think it works better.
I prefer GT with his 64 episodes that I don't know, almost 300 episodes that was Dragon Ball Z.
I mean, the good thing that is very short Dragon Ball GT is that there's not much filler. I mean, the beginning, you could say it is filler, but it was with the intention of nostalgia, with going back to the roots of Dragon Ball, of serialized adventures.
Yes, and I like that in this, from the very first
when I mean filler, I mean that there is a clear plot and they are just trying to put stuff that wastes time. I mean, even in the episodes of Dragon Ball GT, where there was just adventures, there was at least character development or interesting character interactions with other things. And all of those characters later are very useful in the final battle to make the gigantic Genki Dama universal.
Yes, the universal Genki Dama. Sorry, not the Spirit Bomb, it's Genki Dama.
Yeah,
I don't like Spirit Bomb.
Yeah, and I'm so stupid. Like,
and I don't like Onda Vital, it's Kame Kameha.
Yeah, like many names from other dogs are stupid.
Stupid, yes. But now, what I want to talk was that for some reason the modern otaku hates filler, and for them some is filler is automatically sucks, is bad. But
filler can be really good. I mean, franchises like Cowboy Bebop are mostly filler because they not advance the main plot, but that can also be good. You can also get a lot of good characterization and character development in something that doesn't advance the main plot all the time. Just because it's filler doesn't mean it has to be pointless. I mean that too much people got traumatized by Bleach and Naruto. They really had bad filler. Filler literally just to waste time and add more episodes to the list.
Yes, but for example, in C there was an episode that Gohan encounters a broken robot, and was a cute moment that episode.
Yeah.
It was filler, but It shows that Gohan has some compassion, even greater than Goku.
Yeah, that is later important and is part of his character.
Yes,
It
and
reinforces
becomes
that.
full circle with the fight with Cell.
Yeah.
So I think if you are a fan of Dragon Ball, don't see Dragon Ball Kai. I hate Dragon Ball Kai. I love Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, they skip too much stuff in Dragon Ball Kai, and while they do skip sometimes a few things that, yeah, okay, were a little pointless,
Like
they
Goku
also
driving.
they skip also very important stuff just to make it more rushed.
Yes. They are like just with scissors cutting this, there, and look
Yeah.
a little like a Frankenstein compared to the original C.
Yeah, no, you can't put important stuff like, yeah, you can, in the middle of the supposedly 5 final minutes of the battle with Goku and Frieza, you can cut, for example, that part where they start talking with Master Roshi and they're wasting time. Yeah, you can cut that, but you can't cut important parts of the main fight with Goku
No,
and Frieza.
only you know the funny fight with Sea Fighters and the Ginyu Force in the other war.
Yeah.
That you could because was just a gag fight.
Yeah.
But I think that even those moments have.
I mean,
It's
yeah,
a space
it was
in
cool
Dragon Ball.
because the Seed Fighters fighting the Ginyu Force and beating them easily shows that they also got a lot stronger.
Yes. So they
Even
are
in a
at least
saga-
as stronger as Goku when he fights Nappa and Vegeta
Yeah.
now. And yes, that's more of Dragon Ball, and I love it. Another movie that I really love about Dragon Ball is the Garlic Jr.
Oh yeah, that one's really good.
Yes, Garlic Jr. is one of my favorite non-canon
Movie
villains.
villains.
Movie villains.
Yeah, he's like the one that has like the most relevance because and a lot of his story is not like Boya just a space pirate that appears out of nowhere and attacks planet Earth for
No, he's an enemy of Kami-sama and complements the history of
Yeah.
Kami.
That's why they actually made the canon by making him appear after the Frieza saga.
Yes, and this time Gohan beats fair and square, and that's character growth.
Yeah.
And that movie, not only that, in that movie I remember is before Nappa and Vegeta, but so Piccolo was still the rival of Goku.
Yeah, because it's before Raditz.
Yes.
So,
I think that Garlic Jr. was way stronger than Raditz.
oh yeah, see, you have to remember that Goku wanted to die in the battle with Raditz.
Yes, and Garlic Jr. was immortal.
Yeah, he managed to become immortal, that's why they have to defeat him by making him kill himself with his own attack.
Yes, and that's one of my favorite movies. And
Yeah,
what else?
yeah, also Garlic Jr. very evil bad guy because he was kind of more demonic than others that are just like a space alien or a mad scientist. This
He
guy.
looks like a possessed pilaf with an evil entity.
But later he becomes a fucking
Hulk.
hulking monster. Yes.
Yes, and I love it. His design of, and his the Death Zone is one of the coolest attacks of all Dragon Ball. A black hole
Yes.
of darkness.
Yeah, and it was fun of that fight is that you can see Goku in that movie using a lot of his classic moves like the he doesn't fly much, he uses
Fist.
see fist and because he doesn't fly much, he has to be jumping around or running and.
He even used the sacred pole, I remember.
Oh yeah, in that movie, it feels like just an adult version of classic Goku eye fighting.
Yes, and that's why I like that movie, and I know it's a filler saga, but their Revenge of Garlic Jr. was a good filler.
Yeah, the good kind of filler, the one that is not pointless.
Yes, and that was one of the few times that Piccolo was still a big badass, and
yeah, and this time it kind of made sense that Gohan had to beat an enemy without the help of his father because he was going to do that later in the Cell Saga.
Yes, and that is just, you know, you can see the future. Gohan first beats Garlic Jr., then the main bad guy, Cell.
Yeah.
So there is character development in that.
Mm-hmm.
And well, that's more. What more? I think that's okay, but we need to talk about the, you know, in this podcast we want to play Dragon Ball Kakarot, but it's a game of over 40 hours, so we use the Zeta Fighters as background.
Dragon Ball Fighter C.
Fighter C, one of the best video games.
Oh yeah, very fun, and yeah, it's really fun because it's made by Arc System, so it has really good gameplay and really good graphics that look exactly like the anime.
Yes, I love it, that game. But I like it. Before we finish, we could talk about few video games. I remember your favorite was Budokai 3.
Yeah, that one was really good.
We still have it.
Yeah, I mean, I like that game a lot. It was like the first Dragon Ball game that was really, really damn good, and it was like focused on. It wasn't just a Street Fighter clone. It was focused on making a fighting game with the style of fighting of the Dragon Ball franchise.
Yes, and look at like was true to the source material of the time.
Yeah.
And Tenkaichi 2 was good. I know that that game hasn't aged that well, but for the time, over 60 characters was wow.
And you could fly around. You were not limited by a 2D plane like in Dragon Ball Budokai.
And that game was like the blueprint for all these new battle arena fighters of Naruto, My Hero Academia.
Yes, thanks to that now we have My Hero Academia, Justice, and the
Kill la Kill game.
Kill la Kill, and even the Dragon Ball Xenoverse.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because for some reason the characters have a dash attack that magnets to the other to continue fighting.
Yeah, it's a 2D fighting game with each character has a few moves like a Street Fighter that are your main moves, and it's usually a signature move from the franchise. Mm-hmm. And the others are just your typical combos.
Yes, yes, that's, I think. You want to talk something more?
I mean, no, I think that could be it for now.
Yes, and we should bring this for the great master.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it's sad that he passed away, but instead of just being sad about it, we thought that we needed to remember the good memories that he gave us.
He's with Kami-sama now.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
Great Akira Toriyama sensei.
Yeah, thanks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. See you later, guys.
やるじゃねえかトランクス。ベジータもきっと喜んでっぞ。
¿Qué haces, Pan?
Oye, Trunks, ¿será cierto que las esferas del dragón han desaparecido de la Tierra?
Si lo piensas bien, solamente nos están poniendo a prueba. Las deidades superiores quieren que luchemos contra nuestras propias fuerzas y defendamos nuestro planeta sin depender de alguien. Y cuando vean lo que hemos logrado, seguramente, Pan, las esferas del dragón regresarán a nuestro lado.
Sí, tienes razón. Lucharemos duro.
Así es hora de irnos, Pan.
¡Espera, Trunks! ¿Qué es esto? Vi que mi abuelito se fue con Shenlong y traía su traje puesto.
Será mejor que guardes eso con cariño, Pan.
¿Qué? Abuelito.